Ladies and gentlemen, Tim Olin here with today's topic, the insane art behind million-dollar product pages. And if you're running a D2C online operation, this right here is especially interesting for you because the product page is the exact site where the sale is made, at least if you're only using product pages and not landing pages. And this is something that our 6- and 7-figure clients that we work with at the time have used and utilized to optimize their conversion rate on upwards of 20%. And so today we're going to deep dive and break down exactly how a perfect product page is built, what you need to look out for, and exactly how to structure it so it looks absolutely perfect. Without further ado, I'd say let's dive right in. So right here you can see how to build million-dollar product pages. It is actually way easier than most people think. CRO is basic human psychology paired with the story that your brand sells. This accelerates the sales process, minimizes the roadblocks in the sales way, and will help the customer just ease through the transaction no matter which product you're actually selling. So let's dive into it. The first thing before you start to design your product page is the ICP in-field observation. Now, your ideal customer profile with all its pain points, fears, and desires need to be locked and loaded. You need to know exactly what these people are looking for, what their pain points are, what their desires are, and also what their stories are. If you have trouble with that, I've just made a video in the past targeting exactly these points. So if you need help with the research, you can watch that video, comment under it, and I will be happy to help you. Now, if you actually know all these different things, then you also know what they want to achieve or which problems they want to solve. And the only thing you have to do then is bridge exactly these problems within your product page. Now, here's something that is actually very important. When we've talked about this in the past, the pain points, fears, and desires always go back to the basic human needs. And these needs are clustered in Maslow's hierarchy. If you don't know what that is, also in the last video, I just talked about that very briefly, pointed it down that different products are targeting different human needs. What do I mean by that? Let's just have a look into it right here. This is Maslow's actual pyramids. And what we have down here are physiological needs like air, food, water, and shelter, love and belonging, a little bit higher up the family, is friendship, community, romantic relationship, group memberships, stuff like this. And on top there is the self-actualization, so creativity, personal growth, and basically the desire to become what one can be. Now, whatever product you're selling is going to fall in at least one of these categories or in multiple of them. The more you work your way up from the physiological needs all the way up to the self-actualization needs, you need to look and need to test out if you're better selling within the fear points or if it's better to selling with the desired points. With the brands I'm going to show you today, I can tell you it is always case on case dependent. And this is something that is so important that I really want you to understand that this is absolutely valuable. We have worked from anything from agriculture shops to BDSM shops, over to coffee. We've basically worked with everything you can work with in this industry. And so this is something that we always want to put out and look exactly and lock down what are the customers looking for. So understanding the ICP is absolutely key. If you have checked that off the list, we get into the nitty and gritty stuff. So step number 2 is a spot on design. What I mean by that is, first of all, this product page should look like your brand page. What we don't want to do in a conversion rate optimization is actually clustering the entire site with some sales or advertising bonus or AOV boosters, so it looks at the end like Temu or some, let's say, cheaper shops, right? Because this is absolutely going to dilute your brand image in the long run, making it way harder to stay active in the mind of the recipient. So every product page that you design, or entirely product page, should be designed in according to your brand values, to your brand colors, but also, right, to your actual ads or the content, depending where you derive your traffic from. This is something that is very important, so it makes a whole nice package and it actually looks good. If we also check that off the line, we now get into the really fun stuff. So what we have here is the importance of above the fold and our 4 conversion rate pillars checklist on mobile. And this is something that I truly want to put out here because there are tons and tons of videos out there talking about desktop sites, looking at how desktop could be optimized. 80% of your traffic is likely going to come from mobile devices. So this is exactly what we're going to have a look at. Now, what do I mean with the importance of above the fold? Let's just check this real quick. So this is one of the stores we're currently working with, Nara Soleil. Nara Soleil is selling bikinis and apparels, right? And what we want to make sure in this case is that we give all the important information above the fold, meaning before the first time we scroll, or as close as humanly possible under it, right? So we want to get all the really important details and all the informations that a customer needs to make a funded purchasing decision as fast as possible. And these are the 4 different pillars you need. First of all, product pictures, preferably as thumbnails, right? What we want to do is give the viewer an instant reward instead of trying to build up hype, because this just leaves people hanging. When we're on the phone, we're scrolling, we're fast, we need new information. And what we want to do when we cluster this entire page is we want to give the people as much possibilities to view the products as possible. This is why we recommend working with thumbnails, and it's something that we always do in every shop, right? And you can see here it is perfect because it gives already a very, very nice overview of the different angles you can view the product in, the model, how it looks on vanilla, just a white background, and it just takes that edge of having just one big picture and a scroll line that you have to click, 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 because this takes attention, it takes time, and it basically is roadblock, so the actual customer cannot, or the recipient cannot make a fast purchasing decision. And this is something we absolutely want to avoid at all costs. Second point is the social proof. And now this is something that is actually so important that my next video is going to go exactly of that, which is the topic and the absolute importance of social proof in the conversion rate optimization, or in the entire e-commerce space. What we do and what we've done with Nara Soleil is we've put the conversion rate booster in terms of the social trust even above the star rating and even above the normal title. Why? Because it is that important. Other people telling other people that your brand is great, that your deliveries are fast, that it is a pleasure working with you and buying products from you, right, is so much better than you trying to say it yourself. This is because we as humans, we are herd animals, right? We work in groups. We learn to survive in groups. So if a big group of, in this case, over 25,000 people love our products, and this is the first thing they see after viewing the actual product that they might already like, this is an insane security right here to lock in that deal and make the conversion and make the purchase. So this is something that we always want to integrate. Now, we want to integrate this as high up as possible because social proof is just that much important. Of course, we then have the normal reviews right down here, right? So just an extra layer of social proof saying, wow, this is from 4 different reviews, we got 5 stars. And we have another layer of social proof right here with this over 1,300 reviews for the entire shop. And so you can see we've already incorporated 3 different social proofs without even scrolling a first time. This is as good as it gets. So this is really something that we want to focus on. If you're having trouble creating enough reviews for your shop or for different products, no problem. You can write me an Instagram DM and we can just chat about it. I can assess your situation and just help you out. Now, after we've done the social proof, we want to go right into the pricing. And now the pricing is something that is actually very important. I'm not going to deep dive in the art of upselling and bundling right here because we just want to keep it for the basics in this video. But what we want to do after, of course, telling the title and telling a very, very short description, very important, is giving the exact pricing. And what a lot of e-commerce owners do, which is dead wrong, is giving the now price or the reduced price before the actual price. This is something we want to avoid at every cost. Why? Very easy. That has to do with price anchoring. The first price we see with the product is always the price we're going to associate with the product. So if I see this wonderful apparel right here for 90 euros, then 90 euros is the fixed price. Afterwards, in the next line, telling the people that it is reduced from 110 is not going to have that much of an effect because the 90 is always locked in my brain now. So what we want to do is we want to take the actual price, the normal selling price of 110 euros, make it crystal clear that this is not the actual price, then name the reduced price, and then also name the actual saving. Now you can do the actual saving with the percentile, just like we did here with 18%, or you can do it with the entire money amount. So in this case, 20 euros. In our split tests, we've discovered that the percentile amount always works a bit better, because this is something that we see a lot of in our today's society. When we walk through shopping malls, we are basically bombarded with percentile signs. So this is something that the inner eye of the customer is always looking out for, and is very easy to be received by them. So this is something that we absolutely want to keep in mind. Perfect. Now, next information that we also want to give is, and this is the last thing, the shipping information. Now, into the shipping information, there are basically two things we can go about this. So after having the social proof, the title, the pricing, we now want to go into the shipping options. And here's where it's actually getting interesting. Now, of course, we can use this wonderful fear of missing out tool, right? Directly connected to the storage and say, hey, there's only one unit left. So, right, you have to be fast in order to make the deal. But what we also want to do is make sure that the people know exactly, hey, how long will it take until my product is in my cart? How can we do that? We have it right here. Let me show you. We have it here with a live shipping information. Now, this is a very easy app you can just install and mark it right back into your actual system. So this always will be up to date. But especially when we're around holiday seasons, especially when that Black Friday week is coming, we want to make sure that people know exactly when they will get their stuff, because these last crucial purchases in front of Christmas are always where a lot of money is lost for most D2C brands in the 6- and 7-figure range that we've worked with. Now, we can see it right here. This is German, but it basically translates it's in stock, and in 1 to 2 business days, it is on the way to you, right? So this is something that we also want to incorporate here if necessary. Perfect. Now, if we've done this, we can always also customize a product page. And this is something that is truly important, and it goes down into your product. If you have a size selector, if you need a size chart, right? If you need anything and basically everything that you can do, we can always incorporate this into the site. But these are the 4 main things we want to give above the fold, or very, very shortly under the fold. You can see it here. With just half a page scroll, I can already see all the different aspects I need in order to make a fast decision on this product. Also, you can add not only the add to cart button, but also the add to wishlist button. Absolutely no problem. Funnel that back into a nice, good email flow, and you get yourself a deal later on. Also a very, very nice method. Now, let's jump into the second row, right? So the second row is actually where it gets kind of interesting. This is also, we can see it here, the A to C button. This is basically the second row, A to C button. Then we have below that the payment options. Of course, this is what we have here with Klarna, Google Pay, all the different styles that you can pay with. This is basically our second row right here. We always encourage people to also add another layer of payment. In this case, we would have added PayPal. In this special case, we didn't do it because in connection and in communication with our clients, they said, no, just please leave it like this. We always encourage people to either do Klarna, PayPal, or ShopPay from Shopify directly, whichever method of payment is the most favorable by your target audience. Just put this in here. Perfect. And then I want to show you a little bonus something. And this is actually very interesting, right? So if we look at this wonderful page here, what we can do to actually increase the AOV, and it helped here, is we can go into the topic of gamification. Now, gamification is something that's truly cool. Nina from In Love with Paper is made stamps and basically stationery items. And she's selling stuff for $2.75. So not really that much. Perfect with stationery is that most likely the entire family needs it, or you can just send it as a gift. So what we want to do is we want to actually encourage the people to buy more of the certain product or more of multiple products. And we can bundle this very nicely. So what you see here is an AOV booster, right? This is basically a little gamification item that fills up that line with this blue ink color right here until at 40 euros of cart value, you will receive a little special gift, and at 65 euros, you will receive a free shipping. And with every purchase you make, this line will fill up a little bit more. Now, of course, this nice gamification tool is very nice to implement on the product page and also in the cart. We see many shops doing it in the cart option, also implement it on your product page, because people are not going to regularly check their cart options while they're in the flow and scrolling throughout your shop. So gently remind them, hey, listen, you just got a couple of bucks left and you will receive a special gift from us, or, well, a free shipping option. Whatever it is, this is something you should truly incorporate and see how it will boost your products. Side hint, with this new AOV booster right in here and redesigning this entire product page, we also lifted this entire conversion rate only from the product page standpoint by 12%. So this is truly something to keep an eye out. If you got questions about that, again, no problem, ask me in the comments or just shoot me a DM and we can talk about whatever's on your heart. Perfect. Now, you may ask yourself, well, Tim, how do I manage my upsells? I got a lot of bundle options, and this is something that we want to go into now. Now, looking back at the Ganara case, in the third row, so again, first row are these above the fold themes right here. Second row are the add to cart options, as well as the different payment options and an AOV booster that you can implement here. Now we come to the third row, which is the direct upsell row. And this works wonderfully in combination with this little AOV booster, because people scroll down here, they see, well, 26 bucks, or maybe it's just $6, just $6 or $7 missing. And then we directly funnel them into having the possibility to, in Nara's case, complete the look. And they can directly add a new tank top, or maybe a new, contrast knit top, whatever their heart desires. We will give them the perfect items to match their already made decision to buy this or to put it into the wish list. And this is a great way to really funnel and upsell without seeming like you love to sell and you just want to sell it for the money, because it is gently incorporated. Again, no flashy colors in here. There is no red items blinking, no pop-up notifications, nothing. Just a gentle reminder that if you actually want to complete the look and, just treat yourself a little bit, these are the options you can do in here. And so this is something that is absolutely perfect to implement in here. Again, keep an eye on your brand's look. This is the most important thing, right? You don't want to dilute your brand with a lot of different sales options. You are not Temu, and this is your greatest asset. So build it into the nice look, into the nice finish, so it seems very seamlessly and people actually enjoy upping their cart value. Perfect. Last but not least is the fourth row, and this is the description in the menu. Now, this is something that is actually raising a lot of questions with our clients, because they think they need hour-long text to read, even up here, so people know exactly what they're getting themselves into and what they need to buy. What we like to do, and what we like to do to prove them wrong actually, is that we like to look at the heat maps. If you don't know what a heat map is, I also will have a video on this coming soon. A heat map is basically where you can follow the cursor from multiple thousands and thousands and even tens of thousands and hundred thousands of sessions and see where the customer clicks, where he scrolls, and where he resides to read. And what we found out in dozens upon dozens of split tests is that too much text always roadblocks the conversions, because people tend to keep their intention also and only and solely on the reading text. And this is something that we don't want to have. We want people to get quick information and only the information they need to make a spontaneous call to buy the purchase. Again, which is why we call it the 4 pillars of CRO. Those are the only 4 things that are necessary in order for somebody to complete the purchase. And here's why. If a customer inside your shop is already looking forward to more information, he will take the time to scroll down and find the informations. What is very important in here is that you just don't copy and paste some SEO text because Google likes to rank it. Again, brand image, and make it seamless and easy. Drop-down menus for every little category you got. You can see it here. Size and fit, description, right? Tailoring, refund, product details, material and quality, and so on and so on and so on. Very neat, very tidy in the brand-like image. It will make it so easy for the people who are looking for different information to find them right on without having the trouble of reading through an entire page of text. So this is something that we absolutely want to keep in mind. Perfect. Down here, and this is now something that you can alter based on how you want to do it, is also if you have been featured in different magazines or in different niche specific niche specific catalogs, whatever it might be, where you got featured in. This is a very nice place to actually implement that. And then of course we want to get right into the big review section where people can read throughout the reviews. Also keep in mind, have a floating add to cart button, always helps. Always integrate something like this. And this is basically how you will build an absolutely killer product page that's gonna print you millions here in Shopify or basically anywhere else, right? Those are the 4 pillars of CRO. This wonderful little document is of course in the description. You can just download it, absolutely no problem. Perfect. Now, let's go on and do something that is actually interesting, because I know a lot of people already asking this is they want to see the desktop breakdown. And so what I want to show you here is how we increase the conversion rate of this coffee shop right here by 9.9% by just altering the product page on the desktop. We've also done it on the mobile version, of course, but we've shown the new mobile route yet. Well, now we want to dive into what we actually did in order to make this work for desktop. Perfect, let's dive in. So right here we can see the old and very boring product page of Rhineland Coffee. Now, you need to imagine we had some thumbnails in here, but it was looking pretty naked. We had just a big price. We didn't have any nice upsells. Yes, we had a little bit of shipping information, but that was basically it. There were no other pricing options. There were no other options to get additional information without scrolling through tons and tons of text. There were no AOV boosters, no upsells, no nothing. So what have we done in order to make it better? Let's have a look. First of all, what we did is we marked this benefit section right here in bright red, in the bright red color that is also the same color as the brand image. There we go again, very brand-like, right? In order to direct attention to here. This benefit section is an absolute key player, because this is the way you can actually communicate customer values and customer benefits without them having to scroll through hours and pages or through a dedicated page. What we want to do here is basically free shipping information, guarantees, return policies, all the things that benefit a customer right from the get-go. And this is of course something that we wanted to do and we also want to highlight. Next up, thumbnails against the arc of tension. We want easy to access visuals, same as in the mobile version. That also goes for the desktop version. So this is something we absolutely incorporated here. Next up is the customer benefits based on already existing knowledge base of the customer. And this is something that is truly specific to this shop and something that we especially tailored. Because what we've learned is that with expensive machinery or niche products that are not bought every day, but maybe just a once in a 2-year purchase, people have an existing knowledge base that they want to need fulfilled. So when they enter the shop, they want to feel themselves like in a very, very nice salesy conversation, somewhere in a with a good representative of a brand who knows exactly what they're talking about. And this is something we incorporated here. So we asked via a survey, hey guys, what is something that you're looking for if you are spending between 1,500 and 2,500 euros for a new espresso machine? And what we knew is that a lot of people already had very detailed information on how the machine should look, what components were inside it, and that there was something that were actually missing on the side. And so this is something we incorporated, especially on this side, right? Again, got the customer feedback, made an email flow behind it. Did you like it? What would you alter? And people said it's absolutely perfect. All the very important informations about this machinery, about this high-end machinery are right here. I feel very, very nice and very pleased now that I know that you guys, of course, know what you're talking about. Again, this is very tailored and specific to the shop, but nothing that we can do for you. So again, if you have any questions, just hit me up. Next up, of course, the increased shipping visibility with the dynamic timelines for peak seasons or low stock. This is something that is, of course, integrated into the ERP system and the entire stockpile system. So this is something that is automatically managed. We have again, right, in 3 to 4 business days right now in stock, we can do it all the way until there's only one left, or we have to order it specifically. It will take these and how much days. All these different things, of course, are right incorporated here. This is super important to give people the actual and most detailed live shipping information that you can give them. It just eases the tension in online sales, because when you buy stuff online and you know it from yourself, stuff is not getting delivered or not clearly communicated, why it's not getting delivered is always one of the highest pain points. So just give yourself the favor, ease the tension, and take that away with a good live shipping information. Then, of course, this is what I'm talking about. We have the add to cart button here, and then of course a second payment option, the most liked payment method directly available for the customer, in this case with PayPal. Also giving, of course, all the other payments listed for direct access. So there is no, can I pay with this? Oh, is this possible? No, it's right there in one go. Perfect. Next up is the social trust visible. Stage 2 is already in the work. What do I mean by that? We have trusted eShops right here. We're in the moment incorporating reviews.io. This is our partner tool that we work with in almost all our shops and where we have the best options to actually generate reviews, just because the flows that stand behind it are so easy and so seamlessly to integrate in your existing Klaviyo flows or just working with the vanilla Shopify option. Wonderful. And then what we did is not only Social Trust 2.0 plus additional guarantees, but also a 12-year factory guarantee option with one click. And having 12 years guarantee when you buy a machinery for around $2,000 is something that we wouldn't have thought would make this much of a benefit in actually selling these high-end products. And so guarantees is always something that you want to give. Guarantees are always something that you want to think about very, very intensively, because this is truly something that can work out pretty well for your customer base. But here you can see how we did it and how the site is looking now. Of course, you can visit the shop, you can have a look for yourself. If you have any questions, and if you truly need a product page, and if you truly want to crack down on that product page game and want to have a product page that's printing you millions instead of just losing customers on long text and just not optimized funnel sites, then Instagram, DM me, just shoot me a DM. We can talk about it or book a call with the link in the description below. I'm happy to talk about it, give you some tips, and let's just see what we can do for you. Actually, let me put that up here. With Narasole, redesigning this product page, just like we told you with the 4-pillar system, we achieved 18.9% more conversions overall and 19.2% higher AOV with over 130% more reviews thanks to Reviews.io and our specialized flows into it. So this right here, ladies and gentlemen, works like a charm. If you have any questions how to implement it, if you have any additional questions, make sure to just shoot me a DM on Instagram or book a call in the link below. I wish you a wonderful day, and until then, stay relentless.